Hello, and welcome back to another episode of Stuff I Learned
in the House of Bamboo.
Anytime I click on a video of an antelope being ripped apart by a pack of hungry lions, I see this comment. Well, that's nature for you. And I think to myself, my God, that is nature. Pretty savage. Even beautiful things in nature, like the songs birds sing, what we hear is this. But what are they actually saying?
This is my territory. Nobody's allowed to come here. Unless, of course, you are a female and wish to have sex.
So is nature all about competition? Just an endless battle of organisms trying to survive long enough to breed and then dying? That's pretty bleak. Or maybe, to overcome the constant challenges life throws at us, we need each other. Maybe life is more about partnership than it is about competition. Is it a dog-eat-dog world? Or a dog-need-dog world? Let's go back in time, about 2 billion years. This cell produces energy by glycolysis, like every other cell in the world. And this little bacterium produces energy through oxygen respiration, like me, and probably you. Something big's about to happen. Shabloop. Now the energy the bacterium produces can be used by the cell. I wonder if this will affect life on Earth in any way. What we just witnessed was the birth of all fungi, animals, and plants on Earth, or eukaryotes for the biologist folk. And that little bacterium that was engulfed around 2 billion years ago is what we now refer to today as mitochondria, or the powerhouse of the cell. So yeah, I guess partnerships are pretty important. And just as species do branch and divide from the tree of life, they can also converge with breathtaking consequences. We think of evolution as this slow, plodding process that doesn't really go anywhere fast, but organisms could join forces and flip the script in the blink of an eye. The key is both partners can provide something that the other can't. This mutually beneficial symbiosis is the basis for all complex life on Earth. Coral is a great example. Coral polyps, great architects, can build fantastic reef structures, but how do they get their food? They wave their tentacles around and sort of hope. Zooxanthellae algae can literally turn the sun into food, which is a great superpower, but they're not very good builders. Pair them together and boom, coral reefs. Structures that wouldn't be possible without this partnership. Remove the algae from the coral in a bleaching event, and the algae dies, the polyp dies, the reef die, the fish die. The whole ecosystem is held together by this partnership. But let's stay on land for the minute. This is pretty important. Soil. Who do we have to thank for soil? The basis of all life on land. For the first few billion years of Earth, soil wasn't the best. It was made from rocks being weathered and couldn't really hold nutrients. So most of the land remained uninhabited. Nothing could grow. But nature was plotting a great partnership that would see us conquer the lifeless land. And who are these great pioneers? This little guy. Lichen. Remember when we had the bloop and these two started working together? Well, 1 billion or so years later, things have gotten weird. Different types of organisms have started sprouting up all over the place, and we've got fungi, bacteria, and algae, all having a great time in the sea. But now it's time to take this party onto land. On its own, one species would find it very difficult to make the jump onto land, so they combined. You see, a lichen's not really an organism at all, it's a community. So what is each species bringing to the table in a lichen? Algae can photosynthesize, getting energy from the sun. Fungi can stretch out to find water and prevent dehydration. And photosynthetic bacteria can extract nitrogen from the environment. This nitrogen is then released into the soil, fertilizing it when the lichen dies. You know how humans drill into the earth and extract crude oil to power our cars, planes, and cities? Well, lichens extract nutrients from rocks, making it available to plants, paving the way for life to colonize land. That's pretty impressive teamwork for something we've all seen thousands of times and never really given a second look. This is lichen growing on this plant right here. And without it, we would never have made it out of the sea. The partnerships of species within lichen give it legitimate superpowers. It's one of the only organisms on Earth that can survive in space. In fact, maybe it came from space, smashed off from another life-bearing planet by a meteor, and come into ours billions of years ago, providing life. Probably not, but it's quite a cool theory. One type of lichen, Circinaria gyrosa, can be pumped full of gamma radiation capable of killing pretty much anything, and it doesn't even flinch. Partnerships are so vital to fungi that 1/5 of all species can form a lichen with a partner algae or bacteria. So, if a lichen cannot exist without the individual species that make it up, does that mean is it an organism? Or is it an environment? Around 7% of the world's surface is covered by lichens, yet we still struggle to define what they actually are. Some have lived for thousands of years and may be the oldest organisms on Earth. But lichens aren't the only thing with a microbiome. We have one, and so does most complex life. Cows actually can't eat grass, but the microbes that live inside their stomachs can, so they've created little fermentation chambers in their digestive system. If you remove these microbes from the cow's digestive system, is it a cow anymore? It's definitely dead, whatever it is. Humans also are probably better thought of as communities rather than individuals. Our guts contain bacteria that ferment fibre, a bit like a cow's, and help us break down minerals and vitamins, like vitamin B. Disruption of this microbiome can lead to a host of health problems. Our guts, mouth, skin, even our eyeballs all host organisms without which we wouldn't be able to exist. You are an assemblage of different organisms acting as one unit. You're like an ant colony. If cyborgs are a mixture of life and technology, then we are symborgs, a mixture of symbiotic organisms that is capable of housing consciousness. Trippy. And on that note, from my collection of organisms to your collection of organisms, have a nice day. Join me next time in my shed, and I'll keep revealing the wonders of the world. It's cold. It's cold, isn't it, Steve? Yes. Hello, let's check the levels. They look okay. Jesus. That's better. Let's go. How's the hair? Yeah. Okay.